Imagine pointing a little black box at a shirt to see if it really is 100% cotton, or checking if a plastic container is truly biodegradable, or instantly knowing the quality of cannabis oil. It's the sort of thing only large science labs should be capable of, right?
So if you think of a laboratory, you probably imagine white coats and big expensive instruments and a place where samples are sent to. Well, we take the laboratory to the customer. So instead of sending samples to the laboratory, we give them one of these, or sell them one of these little things here, and they can get laboratory grade results on their phone just using that.
Hamilton-based Sagitto describes this as a lab in the hand, connecting machine learning with near-infrared spectroscopy, or NIR, technology to help anyone test the composition of almost anything.
We're working with textiles, we're working with hops, we're working with manuka oil, we're working cannabis, kava, plastics. I mean, it amazes me, and it always amazes me how many different applications keep coming out of the woodwork.
Designed to be entirely controlled by an iPhone or iPad, the company's miniature NIR scanner uses digital light processing to measure the variability of raw materials in each sample.
There are laboratories that will test these things, but they might take 2 weeks to do it and cost a lot of money. So we don't replace laboratory testing, we enhance it. So our customers typically are able to do a lot more testing than they would otherwise do. So they might test every batch rather than once a month or every 2 months or something like that.
Founder George Hill says his small team of data scientists is constantly working on experiments to deliver new solutions and possible applications for more and different types of materials.
One application is with electrical cabling. If it complies, then that's good, but a lot of this electrical cabling is made from countries where you can't always trust them to actually make it the same. So we're able to help our customers test every batch of cable that comes in to make sure that the cable is still of high quality and will conform.
One international application with huge potential is textiles and what happens when they're at the end of their lives. In some European countries, for instance, it's illegal to dump textiles, and that's where Sagitto comes in.
Big retailers like H&M have to find a solution for that. So there's a lot of investment going on into recycling textiles, turning them back into fibre, really. And all of these processes are great, but they all require the companies to know exactly what they're feeding in. So if you've got a process designed for recycling polyester cotton, you don't want to feed it wool or vice versa. And that's where we help them. So one of the applications we have is allowing them to determine exactly what's in the textile. Is it 80% polyester or 95% or 20%?
While Sagitto is constantly looking for new sectors and materials to build new prediction and analysis models, the present applications are gaining some traction, as with the craft brewing industry.
Traditionally, if you went back 5 years ago, most hops were sold to the big breweries and they'd have their own laboratory. But now, really, I think in America there's like 6,500 craft brewers. In the UK it's like 2,500, certainly hundreds in New Zealand and Australia. And they're not big enough to have their own laboratory, so they have to rely on what the label says when they buy their hops. And hops are a natural product, they degrade over time. So in many cases they're working blind, they don't really know what they're using. And we're able to allow them to test that almost instantly and see what the real quality value of the hop is.
This technology is also far cheaper than the alternatives.
We sell the spectrometers for just under $2,000, and then we have a range of subscriptions where they can either pay on a per prediction basis or just pay a flat monthly fee and use it as much as they want.
Compare that to other large companies who, Hill says, charge about $20,000 just for the hardware. That's without any data, AI or services. But Sagitto is by no means an overnight success.
I started the company 8 years ago, and at that point it was really premature. So the machine learning was there and the software, but the miniaturization hadn't happened. That's really only happened in the last 2 years. So I would have been better off just going on holiday for 6 of those 8 years.
Hill says although a Callaghan Innovation R&D career grant allowed it to employ a data science graduate earlier this year, most of the company's $150,000 investment has come from family and friends. And although only 20 units have been sold so far, the path is now open for Sagitto to push its solution far wider.
We're open to looking at anything. So I mean, some of the applications people have asked us about would never have occurred to me, but yeah, we'll have a go, we'll look at it. We're just happy for it to grow organically as it is doing. But it's certainly, suddenly we're looking at almost like staring over a precipice, really looking at the size of some of the opportunities we're looking at.